NFL free agency is here, this time on Sound Off Sports. We're breaking down the Maxx Crosby trade as he is now a Baltimore Raven, plus the NFL free agent frenzy and how John Spytek is really spending a lot of dough. Plus, a former NFL agent joins us in the studio to break it all down. SOS starts right now.
Make some noise. This is Sound Off Sports, sponsored by Silver State Schools Credit Union.
Well, it's a new day for the Raiders, and it's a new day here on Sound Off Sports. Welcome inside Sound Off Sports, the Den, Fox 5 Studios. I'm Mike Davis, joined by James Edward Barrickman IV. James, free agency. It's one of our favorite things.
What a day yesterday was.
I mean, we haven't even officially started. It's basically, this tampering period that's legal, but free agency really starts
This is when
tomorrow.
we find everything out.
Yeah. It's basically when all the news starts to shatter and break, and boy, was it shattering yesterday. GM John Spytek wasting no time getting going. 8 players agreed to sign to the Raiders yesterday. They spent $283 million on the first day of free agency.
And they still have plenty left over.
About 100 left over. I think it's like 96 million heading into the second day. Obviously, Maxx Crosby was traded. We're going to be breaking that down. We asked everybody at home how you guys felt about the Maxx Crosby trade. Of course, he was traded for 2 first-round picks, the 14th overall pick in this year's draft, plus a 1 next year. He's headed to Baltimore. We're going to get your thoughts on whether that was a good or bad move, but that's coming up in a little bit. Right now, let's talk about the moves they did make yesterday beyond Crosby, which happened late Friday night last week. Obviously, Tyler Linderbaum, this guy is going to be the linchpin for this team. We all know the offensive line struggles from last season. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't protect the quarterback. Now, when you have the first overall pick, you're bringing in a franchise quarterback. What do you got to do to a rookie quarterback? You got to protect him,
man. Yep. And
that's what Tyler Linderbaum, the center for the Ravens, is going to do, resetting the market. It was a big deal. 3 years, $81 million. How much did you love this move, James? Because I think a lot of people are saying, hey, they overpaid, but they needed to.
Who cares? Yeah, 100%. And when people, I think, the problem anybody had, all they said was, they overpaid a little bit. Okay, well, you're the Raiders. You have more money than God in cap space. You have a rookie quarterback coming in, and your O-line was maybe the worst in the history of football last year. So if you're going to overpay for anybody, go ahead and overpay for the best center on the market, and they did that. And the other part of that is, 3 years from now, the market's always resetting itself. The salary cap's always going up.
True.
3 years from now, this might look like a bargain. So I love the deal. And how about John Spytek?
I mean, John Spytek, listen, this is his second season with the Raiders, but last year he was kind of muted because it was really Pete Carroll running the show,
That's what I am so fascinated by, is that how much are we seeing now what Pete Carroll was holding the Raiders back from? How much truth is there to that? Me and you aren't inside the building all the time, so I guess we can't really say. We can just ask the question.
I mean,
but man, does John Spytek look like the best general manager in the league right now, or at least up there with the best of them?
Listen, this is a guy who was a great talent and scout evaluator with Tampa Bay. He's a Michigan guy, had a good connection with Tom Brady from Tampa. But this is a guy who's really cooking, and he's done a lot of great stuff. Here's why the Linderbaum stuff is amazing. First of all, he's durable, which a lot of people haven't been breaking down. Right. This is a guy, he could have started 73 games in his career. 71 of them he's made starts. So he's a durable player, number one.
Love that.
Number 2, 3 years in a row, all-pro, Pro Bowler player. So this is a guy who's really high level. He might be the second best center in the league behind Creed Humphrey. And when it comes to Kubiak, coming from that Shanahan tree, they love to run the ball. And they love to use this thing called a zone blocking scheme. It's basically just offensive linemen, rather than going up against a particular defender, they're blocking certain areas of the O-line. This is a guy who can absolutely execute that. So I think this is huge.
Well, of course. And you know how you like to use the phrase, I like my doctors from Harvard.
Yeah.
I love my offensive linemen from Iowa.
Same with me.
I love it. Let's get big. Let's get ugly up front. Yeah. Give me more Iowa boys on the Raiders O-line.
I 100% agree with you. But the big thing here is John Spytek is really wasting no time, and he's spending money. It was the most money spent out of any team yesterday so far in free agency, and the fourth most draft capital they have since 1999 coming up.
Right.
So let's not forget about what they're spending, but also the fact that they have 11 draft picks coming up in this year's class. So this is an opportunity to truly retool this team. And I got to be honest, James, I was against you. I said, I don't see how they're going to turn this around so quick. I'm starting to believe that they can turn this baby around.
I had said back then when they were looking for a new coach and Pete Carroll had been let go, you know, this was as clean of a slate as the Raiders have had. And I don't know, and maybe ever. You had how much money in cap space? The most in the league, right? And then you had a ton of picks, including the number 1 overall pick. And that was before you traded Maxx Crosby. So then you get all that money back from Max, and you get the 14th overall pick and a pick next year. All of those things, when you have that, you can turn it around in one offseason, and it looks like John Spytek and the Raiders might do that. And man, I'm excited. And if you're a Raiders fan, I'd be through the roof. I don't know how you can hold back your excitement because everything is looking up. They look like one of the smartest organizations in the league right now.
And I think what we're going to get into coming up shortly is the fact that a lot of Raider Nation is still stuck up or caught up on the Maxx Crosby stuff, and they're sad that he's gone, but this is going to be a completely new look team. I mean, from the linebacker signings yesterday, Jalen Naylor, I love the Nakobe Dean Quay Walker stuff. We have even a new kicker, Matt Gay. So the whole team is going to be new look. We're going to be breaking that down coming up after a short break. We're getting your thoughts on everything Maxx Crosby trade. All right, welcome back to Sound Off Sports. Mike Davis with you. We asked everybody at home, did you agree? Did you like the Maxx Crosby trade? James, let's get to our first call.
Oh, thanks for asking us about this. The Wizards at admin in the Raider organization have done it again. Maxx Crosby, my gosh, his ethics in preparing for games was magnificent, and he was a workhound. But why are we surprised? I sure hope they didn't offer the new coach permanent housing because it should be just temporary residential. They brought in Pete Carroll. I've known Pete Carroll since his days at USC, where he brought them to national championship. Oh, and then this little guy went to Seattle, and what did he do there? Took that team to another great reward for their services. I am so disappointed in the Raider organization. I come from California. I'm going to go back to rooting for the Rams and the Chargers and the Seahawks, and now I'm going to vote for old Max's new team. Good grief. I think instead of getting rid of our players and our coaches, perhaps we should look at removing some of the wizards that run the organization. But what do? I'm just only an 89-year-old broad who watches football and loves to watch what these guys are able to accomplish. Love that game. Love that game. Thanks for asking.
An 89-year-old broad who loves watching the game. I'm just saying it because you said it yourself. Shit, what a great lady. Oh, my God.
I have no words. I wish we had a name because what does she know, Mike? Well, she clearly knows ball, right? And I think if you watch the show at the end of this year, you're going to find that call on our top 5 of the year.
Listen,
because that's an early candidate in March.
They don't make them like that anymore. That's all.
No, that was fantastic. How smart. How well-spoken. I hope when I'm that age, I sound like that.
We have some good fans.
We really do.
We have some good fans. Thanks so much for calling in. Listen, I know the sentiment from Raider Nation. People miss Maxx Crosby. People love Maxx Crosby. And a lot of it is what that caller just said, James. I mean, the way he played the game was so intoxicating to the fan, to the eyes of the fan, because he never gave up on a play. He gave 110%. Yep. I mean, the dude is such a likable guy. So it sucks to lose him. I get that.
The textbook dictionary definition of what it means to be a Raider.
On and off the field,
hard to
community
lose.
involvement.
Yes,
and,
yes.
you know, once a Raider, always a Raider. But I think the thing that's lost on a lot of Raider Nation is the fact, in order to recharge, replenish, get this team back to Super Bowl contention, it's going to take retooling. And it's going to be uncomfortable because the team you recognize is going to be vastly different than what it's looked like in the past few years. But let's get to another call.
This is Mr. Raider Kid here, coming out of Southern California. Question is are we good with Maxx Crosby leaving? Look, it sucks. This is one of the last Oakland Raiders left, right? This guy was literally a Raider. He bleeds silver and black. He's got it tatted, a fan favorite. But it was time to go. It was time to let him go. He wanted to go and not do a rebuild, and that's fine. Getting 2 first-round picks for a guy that's going to be 29 pretty soon, on coming off of his back-to-back second surgery off his knee, but let alone a few surgeries that he's had in the last few seasons. I think that was great value. And now you're looking at the landscape of the draft with the first overall pick, taking hopefully Mendoza, right, we're all assuming, and the free agents, the day of free agency that we just had today, getting guys like Quay Walker, Tyler Lindenbaum, the best free agent available, mind you, and Jacoby Dean, just to name a few. It's looking really bright. I know as Raider fans get that narrative, that notion that we're just way too optimistic, but this is feeling really good. So it sucks to see him go, but it's okay, and I think it was the right move. Shout out to John Spytek, because that man is killing it right now.
What a tremendous call. Thanks so much. I have nothing else to add. I mean, that guy's spot on. He knows exactly what the vision is for this franchise.
100%. And when you look at that trade, and he said it, how did they get 2 first-round picks for Maxx? Nobody's questioning Max's worth as a talent, but when you look at his age, he's coming up on his 29-year-old season, and, you know, he's had surgeries, as he's mentioned.
Yeah. I mean, Michael was 26. Sauce was 25. I mean, they're much younger guys. Normally, a trade like this, it's for Stafford, you know? So to get those 2 first-round picks is huge.
So impressive.
And here's the other thing. We thought it was going to be late first-round pick. It's the 14th overall pick in the draft. I mean, you're getting a real top talent there. I mean,
no question. You're getting a day 1 starter. And that's why I just think it's so impressive, and you can't say enough about John Spytek right now. Because how in the world did you get 2 first-round picks for this guy? And like you mentioned, not the 26th, 27th. You got the 14th, and then whatever they get next year.
You would have happily taken.
We would have happily taken. Right. The 22nd was like at best.
So I'm starting
John Spytek's a wizard.
I'm starting to think this is really, you know, turning around a lot sooner than people anticipated. And like that caller said, the Jacoby Dean and Quay Walker signings as linebackers, when you're moving to a 3-4, is going to be key. 3-year deals, not too much money. It's a great move. Let's go to another call.
I'll never watch the Raiders play again without Maxx Crosby playing. It was a bad, bad move to get rid of that guy.
Yeah, once again, Raider Nation, the faithful, it's hurtful to them. It's like,
understandable.
You know, imagine you growing up, you know, you're in Pittsburgh, your childhood hero is Troy Polamalu or, you know, a Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, the face of the franchise. Yeah. And then they get traded. They get shipped away. And it is hurtful to people who don't see the vision of how you get back to greatness.
I think our last caller here she'll very quickly change her tune when the Raiders are playing in playoff games here in the course of the next year, 2 seasons. So we got one more call here before
let's go
to
break.
Yeah, my opinion is we're going to miss Maxx Crosby, but I think he needs to get another shot with another team that's going to go somewhere, because we have seen no results in the past decades with this team, and I'm a Raider fan. But, yeah, I like to see the players with potential go to other teams that have potential. That's all. Good luck, Max.
Yeah, another great call. Listen, I think Maxx Crosby, this is the best scenario for him as well. I think he's going to have his best career year in Baltimore. I think he's going to be in contention to really compete for meaningful playoff games. And, it's a win-win for both sides. And it doesn't mean it's not sad, and it doesn't mean we don't miss
And he's
him.
going to be back, and he's going to retire a Raider. He said as much in his goodbye message.
Which I love.
Love that as well. And like you mentioned, this is good for Max. Maybe quietly he wasn't publicly requesting a trade, but internally he did. And he gets a chance to go play for the Ravens, who I don't think are a legit Super Bowl contender, maybe not in year one of Jesse Minter, but he's going to get to finally play for a playoff team and play for a team that, you know, the sole focus, as Q Meyer said on our Sin City Beach show yesterday, when you were playing the Raiders, you knew you had to stop 98 and only 98.
Right.
You don't have to do, like, he's going to have
in Baltimore, there's a few more
here.
guys you got to worry about.
And
that's why I think he's going to have a career year.
Right, and so I'm excited for Max in that aspect. Last thing I want to say about this is just that I don't like this trade for Baltimore. This feels like a trade the Raiders would have made. They give up 2 first-round picks for an aging star when they're not quite a Super Bowl contender. He's not a guy who's going to get you up over the top. So I love this deal for the Raiders, and I think they're finally operating like one of the elite franchises.
But what does this mean? It means that Baltimore thinks they're in a window with Lamar Jackson. I mean, that's why you make this move. You don't make this move because you're thinking down the road. You're making this move because you're like, we got Derrick Henry, we got Lamar Jackson, let's try the win now. And that's what they're trying to do.
I'm much lower on Lamar than most. So.
Same here. Guys, coming up, after a short break, guess what? We have a guy that used to be all wrapped up in NFL free agency. He's a former NFL agent. He's joining us in the studio, Ben Dogra, to talk all about the Raiders' moves in free agency.
You're watching Sound Off Sports, sponsored by Silver State Schools Credit Union.
All right, well, I just have to start right off the bat with this. I was just on the phone with the general manager of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the great, the one, the only, Jason Licht. And guess what he told me about my next guest? He said, this guy was the smartest NFL agent out there. It's the one, the only, Ben Dogra, joining us back here in the den, Sound Off Sports. Ben, I mean, when Jason Licht, a guy who has won a Super Bowl, did all that great work with Brady and Gronk down in Tampa. Now he's, revitalized all these careers from Baker Mayfield, Liam Cohen, Dave Canales. All these guys started there. And now the GM for the Raiders, John Spytek, a guy who started as a scout with Tampa. I mean, it's amazing to just hear a GM say, you were the smartest agent out there. What does that mean to you when you hear that? Does it make you feel like, wow, I should get back in the biz?
Well, no, I feel like I got him $50 as my publicist. No, to be honest, it's humbling. I think he's a little over the top, to be honest.
No.
Well, a little bit. He's a very nice guy. He's very competitive. We've had our share of battles, but at the end of the day, we respect each other. And I respect him because he's a good man. He's a hard worker, and he never passes the buck. And he's one of those selfless guys. He wants everyone to be successful. He doesn't want to lose Liam Cohen. He doesn't want to lose Canales. But he's willing to do so because he was in that position once as assistant. You know what I mean?
It's about development, and he was, in New England with Brady. But let's shift to this, because I did get to ask Jason Licht very quickly before we came in here for the interview. I asked him, Ben, I said, hey, you know what? What do you think about the Tyler Linderbaum signing? Because Spytek is really cooking right now in free agency. And I said, is it going to really be a linchpin? Is this going to set up everything for the Raiders? And he said, you're 100% right. It's a huge move. But I want to get your take on this, Ben. We've seen the Raiders in day one, in legal tampering period, 8 moves they made in one day, $283 million spent in one day, 8 players signed. What's your reaction initially to John Spytek and free agency and what the Raiders are doing?
I think it's an amazing accomplishment. I think it's a true commitment from all the way to the top, from Mark Davis to Tom Brady, to John Spytek, to Tom Delaney, to the head coach. I think they're showing this city we're willing to spend our money. We want to win. We know we're in a tough division. It is a tough division, right?
Yeah.
You got Patrick Mahomes. They might be the 3rd best team. The Raiders have the first pick, which means they were the worst team. So think about this. They have $95 million of salary cap space, and they have spent all this money. Are they not committed to winning, sir?
They're definitely committed to winning. Did you think that Tyler Linderbaum, as being a former agent, a guy who was negotiating these deals, when people say they overpaid for Linderbaum, this is a guy, 3 years, 81 mil. He's making, 20 mil signing bonus, 10 this year. I believe it's 30 next year. How does that happen? How does a team overpay? Is there a tax? All right, to check out the full interview with former NFL agent Ben Dogra, go to our YouTube page, Silver State Sports. All right, welcome back. Time for Sink or Swim. James, what I love so much about what John Spytek is doing right now with the Raiders is the fact that they're cleaning house.
Yep.
And I think if we have to admit, even Maxx Crosby is part of that. But now the fact that Geno Smith is out of the building and they're really clearing the deck so we can just usher in a whole new era for Raiders football, especially when you have the first overall pick and you're getting a Fernando Mendoza. 2 guys left from Oakland, Colin Miller and punter A.J. Cole. So this is going to be a completely refreshed team. I think it's a great sign.
I can't say enough about the job that John Spytek's doing. The Raiders look like one of the elite organizations in the league right now, and that's something you could not say over the course of the last 25 years. In terms of Geno Smith, I mean, you're having a garage sale and you got something for Geno Smith.
6-rounder.
Too. You didn't have to cut him. So you got something for him. And to do right by him as well, to give him a chance to go back and be a starter.
And he would just be a distraction here.
Right. No, Geno had to go, and I don't think Geno wants to be here. He gets to go back to where it all started. Sometimes you have to go backwards to go forwards or whatever Matthew McConaughey said in Interstellar. I like it for Geno. He's going to have a chance to start, and I love that John Spytek somehow got something for Geno Smith. The man's a wizard. I can't say enough about the job John Spytek is doing.
We finally got self-help advice from James on Sound Off Sports. That's all I needed to hear. For James, for Jess, for our whole team, I'm Mike Davis. We'll see you next time here on Sound Off Sports.